Now we're going to talk about developing your brand. Okay? So we've talked about how to develop a niche, right? Using Michael Porter's analysis. You want to go after somebody. So what kind of niches have we seen in the dental industry?
DMC law, perhaps.
Right. We're definitely a niche amongst lawyers. But I'll give you an example. I just heard about, I can't remember where it was, but one dentist converted their entire office into looking like an airplane.
Oh, yeah.
Have you guys heard of this one? It's a giant looking airplane on the outside. You walk inside, everything is airplane, airplane, airplane. I mean, what a great brand. Who do you think that attracts? Kids.
The kids
Yeah.
actually love it.
Yeah.
There's actually practice here in London that I know where they've turned their office into a very spa-like setting with rain walls, with massaging, vibrating chairs at the front, and everywhere you look, it's sort of had tropical plants. It's got soft music playing in the background, and when you walk in, you don't feel like you've stepped into a dental office. You feel like you've stepped into a spa, and it gives off quite a different experience than a traditional dental office does.
Right. We have another client who is marketing himself as the dentist who's going to be the go-to person for sleep dentistry for children.
Yes.
Okay, that's his niche, and he just wants to be known as the sleep. He's putting kids to sleep for half an hour. He's giving them juice. He's got nurses on hand to help them out. You see his office. It's all dedicated to children and sleep dentistry. Okay, those are examples of niches. Now we're going to talk about how to develop a brand to go viral, because that's what you want. You just don't want a logo or a trademark. You don't want to slap up a website and pay people to do all these things until you put together a strategy.
Does everyone here know what we mean by going viral? Michael, maybe give them 2 sentences on what we mean by going viral.
Social transmission. I'm yapping to you, you're yapping to whoever, and they're yapping, and it gets spread, and this is the best form of marketing, social transmission.
Yeah. Whether it be verbal or through emails or social media such as Twitter or Facebook, etc.
So here's the second book that we like. It's called Contagious. And just so you guys know, you don't really have to take notes. I mean, this is all being recorded. It'll be put up on our website. Yeah, so that's why we're recording it for your benefit, okay? So Contagious by Jonah Berger, it comes down to 6 steps. You need to follow these 6 steps to develop your brand strategy, okay? And we're going to show you guys lots of different examples of how these steps work in other industries, okay? Social currency, whatever you're doing has to be cool. If it isn't cool, it's not going to spread.
No one's going to talk about it.
Triggers, okay? Do you remember John Allen's? All the different things that they offer. Every time I go get a haircut, I'm thinking John Allen, haircut, massage, John Allen's, pedicure, manicure, John Allen's. Triggers. Emotion, fear, lifestyle enhancement, or awe. When you're talking to patients, or when your team members are talking to patients, you need to weave in the language of fear or lifestyle enhancement, because 8 out of 10 decisions for buying anything are based on emotion, right? So you got to use this to your advantage. Public. You have to take the private act of going to the dentist and making it very public. And I'll show you some examples of how that works in other industries. Practical benefits. If you talk to any dentist out there who hasn't been to this course, hasn't seen the videos, they'll say, oh, you know, as long as I'm a good dentist, affordable dentist, have a good personality, good rapport, and I'm responsive and I take my time, those are all practical benefits, and that's what's going to make them spread my message. That's one of 6 steps. That's what they're missing the rest, right? And finally, a story. If you can weave all of these things, the triggers, the coolness, the emotion, the practical benefits, into a story, a short story that makes other people connect to each other when they meet each other, that's going to help spread your brand. I'm just curious, how many people actually think social transmission happens in a high proportion online? You think people are going online saying, oh man, I just went to this dentist, it was fantastic, this, that, and the other? You think so?
All right, by a show of hands, who says yes? 2.
Who's not convinced? I see some unconvinced people. Okay. Right now, it's probably less than 10%. It's because people are not going online and promoting their experience. They like to do it in person. They save that because it just sounds like you're selling. There's something icky about, man, you got to go check out my dentist. This was the experience. It's not happening to the extent that we think it is. Okay, but when people get together, they do because they want. Yeah, go ahead.
You're out for coffee, or out with tea for a friend, or you're out for dinner, and yeah, how's the last few weeks been? Let's catch up. You know what? My dentist had changed their office around. It's like a spa going in there. What do you mean? And now the story gets told.
Begins, yeah. The coolness factor is a huge thing. If your dentist is, if dentists are cool and their patients come and experience this great experience and it's well branded and the message is there, they're going to take that and they want to then spread it because it makes them look amazing. They look cool,
Like
okay?
they're on the inside of something.
So let's go into some examples.
Inside of something.
Please
Perfect.
don't tell, okay? You guys see that bottom right establishment called Criff Dogs? Do you see that? Lori, do you see the Criff Dogs? Okay, that's a little hot dog place started by two guys, Brian and Chris. And the name Criff came when I think Brian had a hot dog in his mouth and he was trying to say Chris's name and he said Criff. So they set up that little hot dog place. They have a liquor license too. Now the problem here, this is New York. There's tons of bars in the area. So they had to figure out a way to attract all these people, and they didn't have big money to spend on advertising. So what they did is they found an antique phone booth. And the cool thing is they set this up inside the hot dog place. If you actually press, I think it's number 1, a trap door opens from the back, and when you walk through it, this is what you find. Now the place has got great reviews, and what I'm going to show you guys is an actual video, I hope, of this guy, Furious Pete, who I like, going into Criff Dogs.
Furious Pete, if I remember correctly, is the hot dog eating champion of New York.
Can I get 2 Chihuahua dogs and maybe a couple potato salad? What do I get like a good drinker out here?
She just told him to use the phone booth.
I don't get it, but dial 1. Whoa! What is this? I didn't expect the door to open. This is awesome. I didn't expect an entire bar either.
So you guys get the point, right? That's cool.
I'm sure he did not tell anybody about that experience.
Okay. So that is Please Don't Tell. They don't do any advertising. They've got lineups coming out the door, and when you leave, you can take a little card and it says Please Don't Tell, and you flip it on the back and it's got their phone number and it says call for reservation. So actually, they want people there. They want people to know about them, but there's a hush hush type of thing going on, and it's all about the coolness factor. Who here has heard of Barclay Prime in New Jersey? Okay, it's a steakhouse, but they decided, you know, we got to create something that's going to attract people. Let's create the $100 cheese steak sandwich. $100. It's foie gras, American Wagyu, caramelized onions, truffle cheese, and a bottle of champagne. Who here would go and eat that? Anybody? Would you at least spread that message? Sounds pretty cool, eh? John Allen's triggers. So we've moved on from social currency, the coolness factor, to triggers. And I've already talked about how they're using things in their customers' day-to-day experience to make them think about John Allen's. Triggers, Cheerios. Did you know that every morning when you wake up, you're thinking, I want to have a healthy breakfast, I want to lower my cholesterol, what am I going to eat? Well, somehow, Cheerios said, we're going to take advantage of all those three. Breakfast, healthy, eat. And they are promoting themselves as the go-to place. They did that on purpose. It's not as if someone thought, oh, Cheerios is good for breakfast. No. Kit Kat. You guys have all heard of Kit Kat. Give me a break, give me a break. They rebranded a few years ago because now they want you, every time you're going to go have a coffee, to think about having a Kit Kat. They're trying to correlate the two, to combine the two. Now we're moving on to emotion. Who here has been to a Westin hotel? I know that Wally has, yeah. What does it smell like when you walk in? White. It's white tea. And what does it? How does it make you feel? Really nice, right? You can actually buy it. That's their website. You can buy it. You can fill your office with it. I mean, think about it. When you walk into your office, what does it smell like? Fluoride, cheap carpet? Hopefully not.
Impression material.
Did you know that smell is the #1 trigger of memories? Are you taking advantage of that in your office? Right? I would highly recommend investing in the smell of your office. Okay?
Fear is not Fear should not be the #1 smell of a dental office.
Groupon. Who here knows about Groupon? Yeah? So why are people attracted to Groupon so much? What is the emotion that they're using?
Shout it out.
Saving money.
Saving money.
Deals. How about the fear of losing out on a deal?
How long do you have to take advantage of one of these deals?
Short time, right?
Very small window.
That's why people put the time clocks and they say, you can't miss out. Jump on this. BMW. Driving this car, how does it make you feel? Let's ask Wally. Wally, if you were driving this car, how would you feel? Terrible.
I would have also accepted luxurious.
Well, Wally drives Porsches, so it's understandable. Okay. Okay, Claudio, how does this driving this car make you feel? Does it make you feel like a better version of yourself?
Maybe not. Maybe a bit of cooling.
Okay. But the idea is that it's just a car, people, but they've somehow branded it to evoke emotions, to make you think you are able to be a better version of yourself. That's what brands do.
Part of a special group.
Dos Equis. You guys have all seen this guy, right? This is David's dad. If you drink this beer, you will be the most interesting person in the room and attract all these beautiful women. I mean, he seems happy, doesn't he?
Yes, you get all these adventures.
Okay, Volvo is promoting the epic split. This is still emotion. This is all about awe. This is just, oh wow, that's kind of cool. How many of you guys have seen this? Okay,
No?
should we take a look?
Yeah, let's take a look at the commercial and tell me if you, after watching this, what you feel. So for those of you that don't know, that's 1980s, 1990s actor Jean-Claude Van Damme, martial arts actor.
Of bumpy roads and heavy winds. That's what made me what I am today. Now I stand here before you. What you see is a body crafted to perfection. A pair of legs engineered to defy the laws of physics. And a mindset to master the most epic of splits.
Was that awe-inspiring?
Is that not
Was that
amazing?
cool? You know how many people have seen that video? Millions upon millions. And it just came out a few months ago, right?
And it has people talking. And it has people talking about the car manufacturer.
Okay, so far we've gone through coolness, triggers, emotions. Now we're at the first P of 2 Ps, public. You have to take a very private act, going to the dentist, it could be shopping, and making it public. Take the private, make it public, and your message spreads, okay? So who here knows about Insanity? Claudia, you know it, yeah, okay? So Insanity is a DVD program that David doesn't work, obviously, right? But the idea is you put these DVDs on and you go to your basement and without any equipment, you're just doing this cardio stuff and you're losing all this weight. It's a 60-day program, and if you succeed and you get all these amazing results, you can submit your results and get this t-shirt. So you're walking around with this t-shirt. The only way to get this t-shirt is to submit your results or make it yourself, which David has done because it didn't work. So the idea is they're taking a very private act, working out in your basement, and they've made it very public because you're now walking around with this t-shirt. Movember, okay? Guys thought, well, let's grow a mustache, and somehow growing a mustache, a very private act, means something. Raising money for men's health. Live Strong, wearing a band means something. It's a private act. You see people wearing these bands everywhere, right? Louis Vuitton. Have you guys heard of this place? They've been around for a while, right? Whenever you leave anywhere, it could be you just picked up a sub at Subway, but you're carrying around whatever they gave you in a bag with their logo on it. You're telling everybody that where you just shopped. So then ask yourself, are your dental offices doing something to make the very private act of going to a dentist very public? we're moving on to the next P, practical benefits. This is what most people think it takes to spread a message, okay? Going back to Westin hotels, the bedding. Did you guys know about 10 years ago the hotels got into a big fight with each other over who has the best bedding? The most plush pillows, the most number of pillows, the 600 thread count Egyptian cotton. You guys didn't hear about this? I mean, if I showed you the bedding before and you looked at this one, you'd be like, wow, I'd love to sleep in that, but why? What are the practical benefits of sleeping in that bed versus something that's just flat with a couple of pillows with some floral sheets and things like that? What are the practical benefits of this bed? Comforting? You think you'll get a good night's sleep? Oh, yeah. Yeah. You know, the Radisson has its own sleep number. You can actually adjust the hardness or softness of your mattress. Amazing, right? And there's like 22 pillows on the bed. We're going back. Practical benefits. Insanity. There's David, right? So what are the practical benefits of doing this exercise routine? In your basement, no gym membership required, no equipment required, and it's 30 minutes to 60 minutes. Those are the practical benefits, right? Practical benefits, McDonald's. Have you guys seen that commercial where somebody goes out all over the world where nobody else speaks English and he's asking, excuse me, I'm trying to find this place. Can you tell me where this place is? And they're like, no, we don't speak English. We don't speak English. And then he's like, oh, it's McDonald's. And they're like, oh, yeah, over there. What are the practical benefits that McDonald's has to offer? Anywhere, yeah.
Same food all over the world, fast, cost-effective.
Consistent. Excuse me. Stories. Okay, so we're going to wrap up our strategy. Social currency, triggers emotion, public, practical benefits, and it's all got to be wrapped up in a story. What's the story about this guy? Do you guys know this guy, Jared from Subway? You've heard of him. I see some people nodding. You know, he lost like 245 pounds because he was obese. He wanted to lose weight, so he walked into Subway and he said, 6-inch turkey sub, hold the mayo, baked chips. He did his little exercise and he lost 245 pounds. When Subway heard about it, they said, you're our new role model. He's made 15 million over 15 years, and Subway has tripled their revenues because of his story.
Just that one story, amazing. Eating lunch there every day.
Dove Evolution. Now the women should have seen this commercial. Lori, have you seen this commercial? No? Shall we see it? Yeah?
It's amazing.
If I can get there, there we go.
And think of the story that they're telling with this commercial.
Again, millions of people have seen this commercial. Do you guys think that was interesting? Yeah? Steve Jobs. How many stories about Apple come from this man? Okay? You know the plugs over here? You know, this is a Lenovo, but for Apples, they're all magnetic. Do you know how that came to be? The story goes in 2006, Steve Jobs witnessed a Japanese rice cooker, and they had magnetic plugs. And he thought, wow, that would be catastrophic if this rice cooker spilled because someone basically walked and pulled tripped on the wire. So he thought, let's do that for our laptops. Okay, Steve Jobs. There's tons of stories. I mean, he's the guy who said, I want it to be super silent. I want it to boot up right away. I want it to be as cool as possible. I mean, he's talking about the laptops and their fans, and he was whipping his engineers day in and day out until they delivered. And everybody else has followed him since. But it was his vision for laptops and how they should operate, and that's why we have such great laptops. This thing gets really hot, by the way. That's why it's an inferior product. Spreading your brand. So we've talked about niching it. You guys remember that? Michael Porter, competitive strategy. Pick your niche. Attract your ideal patients, right? We've talked about branding, the 6 steps, STEPPS, that are going to help you develop a strong brand that's going to go viral. And then the next step is you're going to put your brand and your message into the hands of a select few. And they're going to help spread it, because not everybody spreads brands, right? And that's where this third book comes from, The Tipping Point. Who here has heard of Malcolm Gladwell? Yeah? What have you heard about him?
He writes very interesting books.
Very interesting books.
That's right, interesting books.
Oh, yes, I know.
You know him?
I
Yeah?
have read.
Have you? He's written quite a few. He wrote another one called Outliers. Who here has heard of Outliers? Okay. So in Outliers, for those who don't know, his first chapter, he studied NHL players, and he found that they were all born in January, February, or March. Why is that?
Because they like basically his main thesis is that kids that were born in December had less competitiveness.
Yes.
If
Yes.
you compare to the other kids that have these months, because at this age, in that developmental stage of children,
Yes.
6 months or 4 months are the big
Huge.
difference.
Huge, right. He's a really smart guy. My kid is born in January. That was on purpose because of him. Yeah. But anyways, in this book, it calls The Tipping Point, and it's all about how messages spread. Sorry. Not used to talking so much. I am a lawyer, you know. We get paid by the second. In this book, he says, you want to put your message in the hands of 3 types of people. Okay? That's my family. First type of person is the connector. David, who's a connector?
I'm a connector.
And why?
I know someone in every industry, in every job, in any place. If you need to meet someone or know someone for anything, you talk to me, I'll send you to the right person.
Right.
Connector.
He knows people. He collects people. Okay? Think about yourselves and in your lives, among your team members, who are these well-connected people who know everybody? In my life, in my family, it's my uncle, or not my uncle, it's my father-in-law, Akbar. Everybody knows him. He collects people. He's a connector. Next are mavens. Who are mavens?
I'm a maven.
Are you?
I like to think.
Okay.
Mavens are the people that know they know the inside stuff, they know the stories, they know the deals. They're the ones that are then going to spread it and tell other people about that. Picture someone at your community group or at your school or at your practice that always seems to talk to you by the water cooler and share with you all the things that they know. That would be a maven.
So in my family, my mom is the maven. She wants to tell me about all the greatest, latest deals, whether it's Bruno the Butcher or Costco selling this. And I sometimes think that she works for these people, but she doesn't. She just collects information about products and services and deals, and she loves to spread them. There's nothing in it for her, but she spreads them. And it makes her look good, and whoever that gets the deal, they want to spread it too, right? Salespeople. David, who do you know who's a salesperson?
Michael's my salesperson.
If you're not convinced that you're going to like this bottle of tequila, talk to me, give me 3 minutes, you'll enjoy it. Okay? I will convince you. I am the sales guy in my family. Last but not least, always have some guy who's handsome. And that's little Michael, and he was born in January. Okay? So, think about it. Just think about it. Who in your immediate life are the well-connected, the mavens, and the salespeople? And if you have a message that you want to spread to a target group of patients, you need to I would say first look at yourself, look at your staff, your team members, look at your patients, and you're going to notice something. A lot of your referrals probably come from a small group of your patients. Okay? And your staff might also be these types of people. They may be very well connected. I would tend to think that staff should be salespeople. I mean, they should be using the types of language and charm that salespeople use, and that what you want to do is focus on the patients who are well connected, who love spreading messages, deals, information, and experiences.